Namaste, India, 23rd April 2024. I have recorded my presentation of follow-up reports written today after watching video presentation from World Intellectual Property Right Organizations and United Nations Agency on World Intellectual Property Organization (WIPO) on www.youtube.com_@WIPO. The World Intellectual Property Organization is the United Nations agency that serves the world's innovators and creators, ensuring that their ideas travels safely to the market and improve lives everywhere. WIPO do so by providing services that enable creators, innovators, and entrepreneurs to protect and promote their intellectual property across borders and acting as a forum for addressing cutting-edge intellectual property issues. Intellectual property data and information guide videos of World Intellectual Property Right Organization guides decision makers of the world over. WIPO promises that their impact-driven projects and technical assistance ensures intellectual property benefits to everyone, everywhere. Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization Mr. Darren Tang states in his recent web broadcast about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. He acknowledges the valuable values of history and human intelligence involvements for planning, organizing, staffing, monitoring, evaluation, budgeting, allotment of benefits to the real owner through considering the problems and challenges and offering services for protection of the intellectual human rights of the individual. New Delhi, 24 April 2024. Although my intellectual creative works were deleted from messaging application from my mobile phone and I am feeling sense of victimization, I will keep my faith and devotion towards the supreme natural consciousness of God. The sensory stimulants of odor, taste, touch, sound, and vision provides sensual information to the central nervous system, the brain of an individual. I am also a sensitive and curious person. As the sages, monks, saints, writers, artists, and scientists follows their quest for exploration of knowledge, I respectfully obey this practice of learning and training. As sacred texts of spiritual and religious books and manuals of different executive program implementation guidebooks, legislative documents, and rules, acts, and directive handbooks of judiciary ensures transmission of targeted information from sender to targeted receiver of the information. My typed text reports were relevant and useful for the betterment of the humanity. As the National Curriculum Framework of National Council for Educational Research and Training organizes Program for Development of Teaching Learning Materials. As the Sustainable Development Goal 4 for Sustainable Education promotes ventures for development of text documents, PowerPoint presentations, video lectures, audio tutorials, study materials, magazines, articles, newspapers, and books. My consistent hard intellectual labor had helped me to produce valuable information containing reports which were stolen online. As any of the orator, speaker, or author expresses their opinion, advices, observations, perspectives, or advices through their scripted or non-scripted presentations, my written digitally typed texts were useful for development of presentations after editing of these texts. If someone had intentionally obtained these documents without my prior permission, it proves him or her guilty of violation of my intellectual property rights. The very nature of his or her cruel, rageful, and enmity is proved herewith against me. in person. However, I have written a number of useful reports on climate change related disaster risk reduction, aspects of multidimensional impact of global pandemic of SARS-CoV-2 virus induced COVID-19, logical arguments for protection of the human rights of the victims and survivors of the victims of the natural and anthropogenic catastrophe, several poetic peace prayers, poems, and songs to represent the emotional traumatic experience of the person suffering deception, and other useful case studies for ethics, integrity, and aptitude classes for the aspirants of Union Public Service Commission examinations. Loss of my valuable reports have violated the fundamental human rights of those victims and survivors of the victims also along with me. Respectively, the thief or digital hacker should be convicted under applicable provisions of law enforcement. Once identified, he or she be interrogated to present his or her explanations on show cause investigation. Thank you. Reported by Chandan Kumar Mishra, 24 April 2024.